Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Chips and Talk. Grab a snack. Let's chat. This is episode 64. And right off the bat, I have COVID. I'm sick. Okay. I'm ill. I'm okay. This is a very mild version of COVID, a mild experience, that is. I would say I'm uncomfortably congested. You know, my nose tickles and stuff. I am on the nearing the latter end of the sickness, I believe. Because when I have been sick, I find that when I'm sneezing a lot, when my nose is tickling, that's the latter end. Because, you know, I went through throat, you know, my throat was feeling funny. I think last week, you remember the episode 63, where I did mention I was a little sick. I think, did I? I don't remember. I don't even know why I do this. But yeah, I'm gonna test today, and I'm gonna continue testing tomorrow and see where I'm at after that. But yeah, that's actually gonna be my topic today. But before we get into all of that, I want to thank you for joining me today. It means a lot. Maybe you're enjoying your workout. Maybe you're on the drive to work. Maybe you're driving home from work, whatever it may be. I appreciate you tuning in on Spotify, Apple Music. Thank you so much. Or you're on my YouTube and watching this beautiful face, or you're in your car, as I do a lot of times, and I watch YouTube. I don't watch it. There's a YouTube video that I want to listen to, but I'm driving, of course. Do not watch YouTube videos while you're driving, especially those of you Tesla drivers. But maybe you're on the YouTube. superjesusjackson is my YouTube, of course. Go ahead and leave a comment. I don't know. Do that thing that people do where it's like, I think it's like, like this if you're watching in 2023, you know, just some stupid shit like that. Usually people do that for like old, like music or like an old movie or something. Like they'll be like, you know, give it a like if you're still watching in 2023. It's stupid. But I mean, I guess it used to be cool, but then once everyone starts doing it, it becomes kind of stupid. Yeah. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. But thanks so much. Of course, what we do here, we get some random snack, usually chips, and then I talk about what I've been up to, and then talk about a topic. In this case, I don't have a snack because I ate, and then I had some chips. I couldn't hold back. I had some chips, then I took a shower, but I don't want to overdo it. I just want to relax for a bit, and then because I want to be able to eat shortly after I do this, so I don't want to be stuffed. So I apologize. I'm sure you understand. I still have these Panera chips. I still have these here, and I'm totally not eating them. Kettle cooked potato chips. Yeah, not right now. I think it's kind of hilarious. They were here last episode too. But God, I didn't even I don't have like my my lip thing. My lips get super dry. Wait a moment here. My lips get super dry. And here, let's get the ASMR here. Oh, that's not the right zipper. Yes, I have a merce, as some people call it. Well, this is a fanny pack? I think that's what people call it. Yeah, but I gotta get my lip thing here. It's called the Vaseline Lip Therapy Advanced Healing. It's what I use for my lips. My lips, for some reason, once I don't know, starting last year, just get absurdly dry. Absurdly. I have no idea why. I have to constantly be moisturizing. I've been to the doctor. I've been to the dermatologist. And everything they've prescribed doesn't eliminate the issue. Now, the reason why I'm freaking out is because, like I said, look, I've owned a chapstick before. My lips have gotten dry, but it's to the point now where it's like, you know, I mean, it was really bad at first, where I think I started getting cold sores, like on my lips and stuff. But like, you know, now it's like my lips get absurdly dry. Like And I just have to constantly be moisturizing to avoid that. And it got to the point where my lips, like I said, the cold sores, and then you started seeing cracks, and like, it was like they were, the white things on the lips, just like, and it was bad. And it was probably because I wasn't moisturizing enough, and I probably wasn't using a good moisturizer such as this one. This one definitely keeps them well, keeps that dryness at bay. But I went to the doctor, and I went to the dermatologist because, my lips just weren't able to, survive without constant moisturization. And I was just taken aback by that. Now, I live in a very dry climate, but I was just I was perturbed because of that. So I think just the reality is this is something I have to deal with for the rest of my life now, probably. A lot of it has to do maybe with my sleep. I have read that a lack of sleep, if you don't get enough sleep, your lips get dry, you gain weight. So I've been trying to get more sleep, but this is definitely a miracle, and it's super cheap too. The moisturizers that I would use beforehand, they were much more medicated, and I would be paying like $16 for like a Burt's Bees, but this is great. So highly recommend if you have dry lips, use this. Vaseline Lip Therapy Advanced Healing. This is not sponsored, but Vaseline, you go right ahead and sponsor me. And actually, I like Vaseline products. I use Vapor Rub as well. I believe that is Vaseline. I believe that's their brand as well. If I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm confusing it with actual Vaseline. Whatever. Anyways. Actually, yeah, what is the difference between this and actual just normal Vaseline? Probably not. There's probably not that much of a difference. It's just probably packaged in a way that's for lips. Whatever that makes. Whatever, if that makes any sense. Anyways. What I've been up to. So I've been playing a lot of Hogwarts Legacy. I was sick. I found out I got COVID on Thursday. Today's Saturday, March 18th, 3:51 p.m. And, which, by the way, I love my voice when I'm sick. It just has a very nice tone to it. I don't know if it's the tone or if it's the texture, but a little bit the nasiness is very attractive to me. Like, for example, I was listening to a podcast. One of the guests was sick, and I really enjoyed his voice. It's kind of bizarre. I mean, if you know me, you know that I love sound and I love the human voice. So it's my favorite instrument, obviously, of all time. And also, if I do sneeze, I'm sorry, but I enjoy sneezing at this stage of being sick. It's very, very, it's just super gratifying. In fact, TMI, but I woke up and I would sneeze and like phlegm would come out of my nose. It was so good. And that's good. That means that, the virus that's my body being like, get this virus out of here. But anyways, where was I? What was I saying? Oh yeah, I found out I had COVID on Thursday, and I wasn't able to come into work that day and the next day. Not because I wasn't feeling well. In fact, Thursday and Friday weren't the worst. Well, Friday was sort of bad. And then today was much better. But I mean, like, yesterday, well, in fact, yeah, because Wednesday night I started feeling weird, and that's why, I ended up testing. But it wasn't bad. Like, I wasn't bedridden. Like, I'm not bedridden. Even at my worst, which was Thursday, Friday and Thursday, like, I wasn't bedridden, but I wasn't able to come into work. That's just the protocol, right? And obviously you don't want to get everyone else sick. So I didn't go to work. I still worked. I was able to work from home. But, God, where was I? God, where the hell was I? What was I even saying? This is terrible. This is why I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe this is a sign. But anyways, yeah. So, now it's Saturday. I don't even know. I like COVID because I don't, that's, God, where the hell? Relax, Christopher. Relax. What's funny is that, like, I am not a nervous person when I go on camera or when I record a podcast, but I have a natural nerve to myself. Like, even though I'm alone and there's no audience, if there was an audience, I would be a good mess. I'd be a mess, but it'd be a good. I think I'm still a good mess here, but you can tell that I just like get so fucking I just lose my mind. I have no idea what's going on. I just said I love COVID. What I meant was I love getting sick in a way because it makes my voice sound like this. That's all which is something that I've already said. Oh, Lord. Anyways, yeah, I've been sick. Oh, I remember Hogwarts Legacy. Hogleg, as some people call it. Jesus Christ. Why do you even tune into this? Just tune out. Just get out of here. Just stop listening to this. But anyways, so yeah, I was sick, so I was able to play a little bit more. There's a lot of benefits to work from home. You don't have to drive. You don't have to I also didn't go to the gym. Like I worked out at home, so I had much more time. And also I just, I didn't have to, get dressed, do all that routine, so you just end up saving a lot more time when you work from home. And obviously, the biggest time that you save is the distance, the commuting. So there's a lot of things, and not to mention the distractions. When you go to work, you can get easily distracted. Now, granted, you can get easily distracted at home too, but it's much easier for me to focus at home than it is at work sometimes. Like if I'm alone at work, it's super easy for me to work. It's amazing. But when there's people around me and whatnot, it's a lot harder to get some work done. That's just the fact of the matter, right? But anyways, so I was able to get more time, and so I used it effectively, wisely, and I played, some Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm now 11 hours in, which is a feat of its own, because for the longest time I had an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, it was bad, but so the past 2 days I've played more of Hogwarts Legacy than I have that I've played video games probably in a span of 2 weeks or something like that, or a week, so it's just, it's been very good. And as you know, I've been playing, I played God of War, I beat that, it took me forever, and lo and behold, I found out how long Hogwarts Legacy is. And if you really want to get a substantial amount of, you want to do a substantial amount of the game, you do have to put in 40 hours or 30 plus hours at the very least. So, and I'm a guy that I honestly, in many ways, a lot of these open world games, where there's a huge area to explore and there's a main path, a main story mission, but there's plenty of side stuff to do. I'm the type of guy that does a lot of the side stuff. Now, granted, because I don't have as much time as I used to, I very much limit myself. I don't, if I'm going somewhere, in the game, if I'm traveling and there's a side thing, on the way, I'll do it. But I'm not going to be that guy anymore that will go out of my way to complete things, I just can't do that anymore. It's just not, I don't have the time to do that. So I've just been completing things as I go, but this is the first time in a while where I'm playing a game and I just kind of want to do side stuff, and I just want to fuck around. You know what I mean? The game is so great when it comes to side stuff. The main story is good too, but for me, the side stuff has always been fun because it's a way for me to, it's when you get a plate for food, right? And you get you have your vegetables, you have your meats and whatnot. And for me, I love I'm the savory type. In fact, I don't actually even care about the dessert. I will overeat the regular meal and skip out on the dessert because I love savoriness, right? I love, starch and carbohydrates and all that shit, right? Bread. And so I will eat all my veggies first. I will try to get that out of the way, and I'll try to mix things here and there. But for the most part, I will eat my veggies and get that out of the way, and then I just indulge, in the bread and everything and that's what I do. And so very much with a lot of these games that have a lot of side content and main content, I will do a lot of the side content, and then I will treat myself at the very end of my play session with a couple of story missions, or in fact, just even one story mission. And it's I don't know, in a weird way, I enjoy the side content sometimes even more than the main missions. But the main missions to me are can also be, the bread for me. The starch, you know what I mean? Like I save the best for last, right? When in reality, the side content, I end up actually sometimes having more fun. But, I like to kind of divvy up my playtime like that. And that way I get the best amount of enjoyment regardless of what I'm doing. I don't know if that made any sense, but yeah. So, but Hogwarts Legacy, it's just one of the few games in a while where I'm just doing side content. In fact, not even side content. I'm just messing around, traveling around, like defeating dark wizards, defeating spiders in the Forbidden Forest, which the Forbidden Forest is a great area to just kind of, it's like a dungeon, essentially. And for those of you, there's plenty of you probably who don't really play video games, but dungeons are basically areas in a video game where there's a lot of enemies, there's a lot of loot. It's like a place that you can go mine and just fight enemies and get some gear, and get some better equipment, experience, all of that. So I've been really enjoying my time. It's a great game so far. And I got to fly in a broom, which is awesome. Just incredible. It's really fulfilling my desire of a Superman game. We still haven't gotten a good Superman game, god damn it. And it can be done. You can fly around this gigantic map, and oh my god, when I first got it, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. Flying in a game is so cool. It's awesome. I love it. So I love this game. I really do. It is I don't know if I wouldn't say exceptional, but it has that sense of wonder. You know what I mean? Like where it's just so pleasant to walk around and to do stuff in. That's amazing. That's something that you can't really get with a lot of games. And like the Fallout series, I love the Fallout series. You can get that with that game, but it's a game where you could just walk around and just lose yourself in, and that's the best. I love that. So as I get older, I'm appreciating video games in a more sophisticated way, I think. I think when I was a kid, I very much played Fallout. I very much played all those games, and I enjoyed it for the same reasons that I do now. But now, I have a career, I have a life, I have a girlfriend, I have all these things, that can distract me from just the escapism of games. And when I'm able to finally just sit down and play a game, get lost in it, it's very special. So, and the game has a lot of charm, and it's just awesome. It's very pleasant. So yeah, there's that. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So yeah, I've been playing that game, and that's pretty much all I've been up to. I have been editing something very special. I'm just going to tell you right now, all of you who listen to my podcast, you get first dibs on my content on my Super Jesus Jackson channel, of course. You get to know what I've been working on, sort of. Obviously, my Speed Demon Michael Jackson video is out. It's been getting good reception in terms of just views. But I've been working on the side on a vlog. My girlfriend and I, we went to Washington, D.C. last year, and I captured a bunch of footage from that. It was like a trip vlog, and now I've been editing that, and it's very fun. And I'm 20 minutes in, and I don't think I'm halfway done. So this is going to be a big one, and it'll be super fun for me to see the end result. And I've never done a video like that before, so it's very cool. And I think you're all going to enjoy it very much. And it's not going to be a year late, but it's going to be up there. We're in March, and I took that trip last year in September. So, oh God, excuse me, that was disgusting. Not as disgusting as other things in life, but it is up there. But I wanted to talk about COVID. It's a topic. It's a controversial topic. It can be. Let me drink some water, because you got to drink your fluids when you are sick, my friends. That was terrible. So COVID, I had a job. I was working retail when COVID hit. I worked in an area where there was it was retail. It was a lot of business. It was very busy. And once I distinctly remember remember going to work, and it was empty. It was like almost like a ghost town. I remember that. And it was interesting. It was very interesting, and we kind of knew what was going to happen, right? So I got laid off. So the rest is history. That's it. That's the end of the episode. No, but I got COVID actually fairly on. In fact, you know what? Sometimes I think that I got COVID like around December, January, February, like around there, because it was the worst sickness I've ever had in my life. I mean, I was near bedridden. I still went to work, mind you, but I come from a family, a culture where no matter how sick you are, you go to work, you go do what you need to do, you go to school, all of that. To this day, I still have that sort of attitude. But you know, it's unless you're like, you know, you're in the hospital and you're dying, like, you know, go to work, you know, like that's sort of my family's culture and where I come from. That's sort of the idea. And so I had the worst headache of my life around this time. Like it was awful. Like I was on my shift and I had to take an Advil for the first time. I was like 20, 21 or whatever, I think. 20, I don't know. And I took an Advil for the first time, and it was amazing. I can't believe how amazing that was. You know, to have a headache, to know, and then to take the Advil, and actually my headache was subdued, and it was numb. I was like, this is incredible. I was like, no wonder people get high off this shit. So, but yeah, and so that was the worst sickness of my life. It was the worst headache I've ever had. Just my energy was absolutely terrible. It was bad. It was terrible. I got over that. And I had that, you know, that cough that was just painful in my chest. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that was COVID. I'm pretty sure. And I worked in an area where we constantly had tourists around, and business people, you know, just, we always attended to those people. So it's very, very likely that I got COVID, and it was terrible. And then I got it again around April of 2020, March and then April. And that was very mild, which makes sense because that's what they said, right? When you get it, it was awful. And then the second time you would get it, it's mild. And so that's what that experience was. And then I never got it again after that, ever, until last Thursday, until March something of 2023. So yeah, it's been a while. Now, granted, I did do the vaccine, I did the booster, I did all that. So yeah, but I didn't get it until a couple days ago. So it's been interesting, and the reason why I wanted to bring up COVID is not only to talk about the symptoms and what it is, you know, that you feel, but really, of course, the social discourse of COVID. To be perfectly frank with you, and some of you might disagree, you know, it's always interesting sharing your thoughts about COVID, because like everything in today's world, everything gets politicized. So COVID, when everything shut down, you know, COVID in many ways the pandemic granted me so many things. It was because of the pandemic that I started my YouTube channel, that I started making music. I started becoming more creative. Like, that was an incredible gift in a weird way, what happened with the pandemic. Of course, many people lost their lives. But you know, you gotta take what you can get. You know, personally for me, the pandemic was I mean, I don't believe in God. I'm not religious or anything like that, but it was a blessing in disguise, right? And again, just my experience, of course. I am very well aware of the experience that everyone else was feeling. And then, but here's the thing. This is where business-wise, it was very sad, because many businesses closed down. People lost their jobs. I did, you know, like, but thankfully I was in a position where I could sustain myself. But it wasn't good. And my savings took a huge toll because of that era of my life. But the vaccines, everything, all of this just became politicized, right? And the lockdowns became politicized. And, I will say that I think that we did the right thing for a good period of time, maybe 3 to 6 months, close everything down, kind of tamper things down, do the China way of going about it, right? Because China, hey, whatever some people may think about them, they closed down, forcefully closed down, and they were still doing it even in fucking 2020, 2020, late 2022, early 2023, I think. It's been a while, but definitely in 2022, they closed, certain parts of China were closed down, and there were protests and stuff, right? So they were very much doing it, but it was the most extreme way of handling this virus. But they did it. I mean, compared to the US, compared to China, China's population is insane, but less people died of COVID than people died of COVID in the United States. So they did it. They freaking did it, but it comes at a cost. Personal freedom, the ability to keep your business alive, all of that. But I'm very much a person where, I saw what COVID was I saw what was going on here. And 3 to 6 months, it got to the point where it was like, oh my God, like they are extending this, I remember I was like, oh my God, why are they extending this? We got to go back to work. We got to go back to normality. That's what I thought. And I still fairly agree with that sentiment. I think that, obviously, statistically, more people would have died for sure. And it's crazy to say what I'm saying, but I there's plenty of people who think what I think. Now, at the same time, get out the vaccine, go take the vaccine, take the booster, take all of that. I mean, well, I don't know, second, third booster, I don't know. At that point, it's like, really, guys? You know what I mean? Like, really? But I had to do it for work. I mean, I did it. But if it wasn't for work, would I have taken the booster? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I would have taken definitely the vaccine, and I would take that. I would take it yearly for sure. I'll do that. But I don't know about the booster. I don't think I would have done that. But definitely the vaccine every year. Totally do that. Totally fine with that. I take the flu vaccine every year. All that. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm not a person here that will tell you, oh God, oh no, all these vaccines. No, what are they put in them? Oh my God. No, although, and there are people who do think like stuff like that, right? That these vaccines are manufactured, that COVID was manufactured, all of that. I don't believe in that. I think there's some shady stuff going on. Like the CDC is probably artificially creating variants of the virus, but they're doing it to test possible vaccines in the future or possible boosters that will attack those certain variants. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that they're, in fact, actually, I don't even know if this video is going to get flagged. I heard that people who talk about COVID on YouTube do get flagged. I might get some stupid, thing that says at the bottom, COVID, here's a link to all the resources and all. It's not stupid. I totally get why they do it, but, it's just kind of, it's kind of funny. But I'm just sharing my opinion. But yeah, this is a very touchy subject to talk about, of course. But yeah, there's people that think that. And recently there was this, like, on Twitter, there was this video of apparently the research director for the CDC. He was in some dinner and he was talking to some individual saying, there's information that we don't say because people would lose their minds if they knew that we were manufacturing vaccines or manufacturing COVID variants to test, to test boosters and test future vaccines. I don't think he said that part, but he did say manufacturing COVID variants and all of that, right? And it's like, wow. Like when you hear that, it's insane, right? But and it's so funny because once people were seeing that video, they were looking him up, and some people did take screenshots of on Google of that person's position, and then lo and behold, after some time, you search up his name, and he does not come up, not one bit. So it's really interesting when you think about that. I don't think. Look, some people will use that video as evidence of like, yes, the government is totally manufactured these vaccines, and this will change your DNA, and this is just nonsense, and it's artificial, and it's fake, and all this, and but on the contrary, when I look at a video like that, I'm like, well, that's smart. Like, I don't see what the problem is. You know what I mean? I took the vaccine and I'm still here. And guess what? If we all take the vaccines and then we die like 10 years later, well, then I'm the guinea pig. Boo-hoo. You know what I mean? Science failed. Oh my God. That's the whole point of science. Science is supposed to fail. So then we can, fix it. So we can learn what went wrong and we could be better. That's the whole point of science. So I don't, and this can go into the whole weeds of, it's a whole world, a new world order, and it's all this, and I'm not going to get into that nonsense. It's just not what I think. It's not who I am. I think the world's a little bit too complicated for something like that to exist. But then again, maybe it does. And if it does, well, then I'm wrong. But I'll find out when I find out. But until then, you get your vaccines, you do what you can. But here is the thing too, is I do think that at a certain point, we definitely should have opened things up. I think businesses should have been able to come back. If you want to wear a mask, cool. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't wear one. You know what I mean? Like I think herd immunity is a real thing. You get it. You strengthen the population. If everyone gets it, some people will obviously, the people with weaker immune systems. And I think when it comes to those cases, you do what's best for you. You know what I mean? Like, you stay home, you wear your mask. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it's just not fair to damage the economy as much as it was damaged, and personal freedoms of, millions, hundreds of millions of people, for a subsection of people that, that COVID, would affect them greatly. And does that was a terrible way to say that sentence, grammar wise. But it's that thing where it's like you are sacrificing the many for the few, and I think that's a valid argument. And I may be wrong. I'm not sure. I mean, it's just my opinion. But I do think that just when you think of the damage to the economy, this, COVID just accelerated, the problems that we have today. Inflation. That's the biggest problem that we're facing today. The national debt. It's insane. And I think that we could have slowed the progress of all the bad things that came out of COVID, had we just opened things up way earlier, in terms of, again, trade, the economy, everything. So that's definitely what I think. And I think that, in many ways, it's like, at what point do we stop doing this? Because COVID is going to be around forever now. You know what I mean? And it's continuously evolving. So are we just going to be like, okay, like, you got COVID, you can't go into work now? If that's the new reality, all right, maybe the science does support that, and maybe we should do that. But if you are elderly, you probably should stay home, and you're probably not working at that point. You're probably retired, you know what I mean? And you go out, you wear a mask, all of that, right? Or, if you're a child, definitely stay home, all of that. I understand now that when you're a child and when you're sick, it's best to stay home. You don't want to get, the other kids sick because, the immune systems of children are very, very sensitive. But at the same time, you got to get kids sick so their immune systems develop properly. So there's a lot of things here, a lot of things at play. But I rest my case, I suppose. That is what I think. But at some point, I think we have to stop. I think we have to We have to just be like, look, this is the new normal. COVID is a thing. Let's and this is what boggles my mind, is that we have come now to the point where that is the consensus, right, from people. No one's wearing a mask anymore for the most part. Like everything's fine, everything's up to capacity at this point, everything's fine. But it's like, we were gonna get to this point anyway, so why didn't we do it earlier? You know what I mean? In order to lessen the damage to the economy, to our personal freedom. And I mean, yeah, that's it. I mean, what are the two most important things in a country? The economy and personal freedom, because all of those things affect everything, from your livelihood to, your jobs, to employment, to your own happiness, like economy and personal freedom. Literally, that's it. You have those things under control and everything else is fine. So, God, and I don't have all the answers, by the way. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I'm off base. I'm not sure. And if I am, I'll find out. But that's my opinion. Yeah, anyways, I think I'll shut up now. So those are my thoughts. Oh my God. Those are my thoughts. Whoa. Talked about a little bit of a controversial topic there. So I'm kind of proud of myself there, because in this day and age, it's kind of scary sometimes to say some of the things that you think, so hopefully we can live in a society where we're able to express ourselves. So, but anyways, thank you for listening to me. Share with your COVID loving or hating friends, if you will, this podcast. I was actually thinking I might stop this podcast at episode 100. I might take a break, and then I will then do another batch of episodes. And I have some shit coming out of my nose. I might do the other batch at a point later in time, just to take a break. Not sure, but 100 episodes is a lot. That's 100 weeks of doing this thing, which is absolutely insane. I've actually only, I've messed up on 1 week. I totally forgot to upload. So that was 1 week. So really, it's not 64 weeks right now. It's 63 weeks. So maybe I'll do 101 episodes to make up for it. How about that? But anyways, that's it for me. If it's your birthday, happy birthday to you, you beautiful creature. I love you. Please take care. Stay safe. Do what you need to do to stay safe, whatever that may be. Get your booster, get your vaccine, wear your mask, stay home, do whatever you need to stay safe. At the end of the day, your health is important. So, but I think that's it for me. You all take care, stay safe, and until next time, I love you.